So, do you remember, Adrienne? Many people will not remember what I'm referencing. But
your voice is all muffled.
You couldn't hear me?
Yeah.
I said, do you remember what I'm referencing?
Okay, so Prof has a book in front of her face with her eyes peeking out, and I know exactly what you're referencing. But I think many people will not remember or have any idea.
They will not remember. Tell them, Adrienne.
It's kind of sad. Once upon a time, there was a collection of outcasts. I want to call it cast. That's what I used to call cast out outcast. They were outcasts and they were bookies.
And they were nose in the
book nerds, and
you'll see
have a cast out.
You'll still see them as some people's profile pictures. So
yeah.
And the reason I'm doing this is because in just a little bit, Debbie Soon's going to be joining us to talk about her book, Digital Mavericks. But before that, we're going to talk about some news. So let's get started. You ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster.
GM Farcaster. It is Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And a very special guest, as I queued up in the cold open there. We're going to have Debbie soon on to talk about Digital Mavericks. In just a little bit, we're going to go through a little bit of Farcaster news and bring her up in about 15 minutes-ish. So really excited to chat with Debbie. She played Cast Out with us as well. We haven't talked to her since all that happened. So this is going to be fun. But before that, a few things on the timeline. My background is Dark Noun's Valentine's little drop here. So you can go mint that. And actually, we're going to be giving away something later today. We're going to be giving away a copy of Debbie's book. So if you're in the chat, make sure we know your Farcaster name or you will not qualify. You must be on Farcaster so we can find you. And if you're not on Farcaster, we even have some invites for you. So hit us up.
What are you?
And we're going to be giving away a copy of the book. And I'm going to give away one of these cute little Dark Nouns Valentines. So there you go. And maybe one other thing. We'll see. I have something else up my sleeve, but we'll see if we can make it happen. So go check that out. And then Adrienne, have you been seeing red on your timeline? Both of our profile pics are red right now. Do you want to explain what's going on here?
The red on the timeline is incredible, by the way.
It's really fun.
I really like seeing the profile pics. So Chic Bangs just released a new version of her song Shake. It went on sale yesterday. Go to her profile. And I think it's on SoundCloud. You can mint it. If you remember, we did an episode with Chic last May for Mental Health Awareness Day, where we shaked to her song. So
Exactly. Yeah.
It is her song, and it's all about kind of getting the shakes out because movement feels good. So I guess is a remix of her song, and she redid it, and it's incredible, and it makes you feel good, and you should absolutely mint her song, listen to it, shake to it, and paint the timeline red.
There you go. And perfect timing for Valentine's Day. So she timed it well. We also have this new on Warpcast. Tap into any ticker or CA right from the feed, and you get information about that coin. So very cool. We kind of knew this was coming because they've been testing some things out and had mentioned it a while back, but it is here. So go check that out. And they're also working on the swap features and things like that. Now you can also see holder leaderboards everywhere. So token pages are going live soon. See the biggest Farcaster holders for popular tokens. Tap into a ticker, contract address, or token in your wallet to see this. So very cool to see. We love a leaderboard.
You forgot to tell Yes to Crypto to hold his ears during this announcement. We don't want to give him. We don't want to give him a heart attack. They're everywhere.
God. There's too many. You know, luckily for him, I think he's at the top of some of these already, so he doesn't even have to do anything. So funny. This is a cast by Horsefacts. Problem: it's too hard to build swap token UIs. Several popular frames use embedded swap widgets that don't connect to the user's wallet. We're exploring some ideas for token actions and seeking feedback from frame devs. So if you have any other feedback or as things are rolling out, please forward your feedback to the team. And then we have these free signups now. So I liked this continuing the choo-choo theme. Here you go. Sign up fees, 90,000 free invites. The train hitting the bus meme for those just listening. And then this was amazing to see. This was from Brian Quintenes. It is my great honor to be nominated by President Trump as the next. Now, keep in mind, this is casted. Like just making that note. Honored to be nominated by President Trump as the next chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, where I had served as a commissioner in his last administration. The CFTC plays a critical role in maintaining robust hedging and price discovery markets that are the envy of the globe. The agency is also well poised to ensure the USA leads the world in blockchain technology and innovation. I look forward to working with President Trump's incredible financial regulatory team. So very cool to see. And then this led to this. Let me see if he's still there. I haven't checked today. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, he's now in number 2. So this one cast had so much engagement. And because there's always a little boost for somebody who's just coming back or is new, he was at number 1 with like this only one cast. And there was a little bit of people are a little cranky about it. So it's like, I'm like, he won't stay there. And he didn't. So Android 16 coming to the rescue. There you go. But I thought it was cool to see this. It was really cool to see, one, that there's somebody crypto friendly going into this position, and 2, that he casted this on here. So it's cool to see that he's on Farcaster and knows what it is. Very, very cool. And also I did shoot my shot here to see if he wants to come on GM Farcaster. So
yeah, you got to do it.
Got to do it. Come on in. We'd love to have you on anytime. This from Angela, 1395. Hey, DJ and friends, just wanted to say how amazing it was to be part of the Degeniversary. It was a fun adventure, and I love spending time with all of you. Every meetup before and after felt so special. I'm really grateful I got to meet so many of you in person. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but what a great time this looked like. So pretty amazing. Everybody with their purple hats. Looked like an incredible celebration over in Poland. So congrats to everybody who put that together, Jacek and Angela. This has just been funny on the timeline. We've got this little battle of cocktails happening. And in response to, this started with Downshift. After years of painstaking research, I have concluded that the Margarita is the perfect cocktail, followed closely by the old fashioned. And then this became a debate. Near has, you can see below, says Mojito, DWR Negroni overall, but Margarita hard to beat if it's hot and by the ocean. Old fashioned is overrated. Good drink, just drink it neat if it's good whiskey. And then we have Proxy Studio chiming in. I believe you misspelled gin and tonic. I corrected him because I think he misspelled gin and juice. So that was my thoughts on that. I don't know. I just like these little fun little metas that happen. This is the lore that we're talking about.
It is fun.
It is fun. They just kind of pop up, and it's just a very natural thing, and it's just kind of fun.
It's also bait. It's like you do the city ones when it's like, which is the best city? What's the best drink? There's no
total
winners.
Bait. Guys, it's good engagement. Just lean into it. But it's also kind of fun. It's kind of fun to hear, something a little different that's not crypto, that, just about people. This from Rish. Have been very impressed with Adrienne's building in public journey for GMFC 101 bot. Great blog post on the details. So if you had posted your about your journey, how I build GMFC 101, a Farcaster AI agent trained on video content without Eliza. It's a very long title.
It's a long title.
It's a long title. It's also, but it's a great
because
read.
no one can read. No one's going to read all that. Like, I'm happy for you. That's a lot of words. No one's reading it. So just read the title. And
apparently, Rish was reading it. So that's pretty cool. So thanks, Rish, for reading Adrienne's journey.
I did give Nanar a shout out. It's very hard. It's very, you can build on Farcaster without Nanar, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, it's just going to make your life a lot harder. And this was from Keckers. I got tagged in a reply to Peachy suggesting I might have tips for building a simple frame using AI. And yes, I do. So vibe code your first frame. There you go. If you're looking to build a frame. So
you know what vibe coding means?
I would assume it's like you just kind of roll into it. Like you're chill. It's not a work thing, you know.
I think it's using AI.
And using AI. Okay.
I think it's like for the people who claim they don't know how to code. So it's like you don't really need all this technical details. You just vibe it. So it's like, and I think I just learned that term on Twitter the other day, and then I saw her do it, and she's writing about how she was like really just with AI, like no code.
No code knowledge.
AI and Replit, which is a web-based IDE, so you don't you can do a frame, and she shows how, and it's really cool. But I love the term vibe code.
It's really fun. I like it. And thank you, Keckers, for sharing that. Send vibes to AI. There you go. This from Chuck Stock. Speaking of doing some vibe coding, I want to hear your best idea for a remix. Quotecast, and this is regarding Farcade. Quotecaster replied to this with an AI prompt for how you would want to update an existing game. I'll pick my favorite prompt and create a remix for you, and we can launch the new game together. For example, when I remixed Tower Blocks into Nightmare Blocks, my prompt was make blocks much smaller, make them a lot faster, and change the theme to feel like Halloween with some smoke in the background. So, by the way, and it's a total nightmare. I hate that game. It's so hard, but it does exactly what he asked. But it is pretty cool that that's how they're building Farcade too, is AI coding. They are also devs, so they're able to tweak everything they're doing, but they can move a lot faster. Yeah. So, and the idea is that the studio will allow for anyone to do some game creation. So, very cool. Good to see. I don't know which game I would remix. I couldn't think of how and what I would do, so I didn't. Besides, like, throwing noggles everywhere. Like, that's the only thing I would do. So I couldn't come up with something really good. But if you have an idea, go drop it there. And more gaming. This from Matthew Fox. This is a chart of intents by Clankermon users in the past 31 days. At first glance, this looks like number go down, but it's actually efficiency go up. Since adding multi-train and prioritizing batching multiple transactions together, wherever, we've cut our cost by 300%. Without batching, this would be over 180K individual transactions. So if you're not playing Clankermon, it is a trading game, but also has like these little pets that you're keeping alive, which I don't think I checked yesterday. I hope they're good. You can bury them if they die, or you can revive them. But anyway, this is, but then, so you had to train them individually, and now you can train them all together in one transaction. So that's what he's referring to. So it's just kind of cool to see all these developments, like people sharing what they're working on publicly, and and seeing it live and being able to test it. I just always find it fun. Speaking of sharing it live and testing it, Yapster. So this is from Ted. I love everything about Yapster. The only thing I'd change is the unshakable feeling of walking into a room full of horny 4chan guys. Most accurate statement ever.
Ouch. Are you using Yapster?
I have. I have played quite a few times, and I played yesterday, and this held true. This held true yesterday. So yeah, they need, number one, your horny memes are fine if they're actually funny and if they actually make any sense. If they're just, horny for the sake of horny, they're just stupid. So just stop. And then also that like they all need to get better. Like all the memes that people are submitting need to get much, much better. And it gave me a greater appreciation for those who meme well. So hats off to the really good memers because it's harder than you think. So anyway, but Yapster is it's a unique type of game and an approach to launching a meme coin. They just have been having a lot of bumps along the way. But if they get these things fixed, figured out, I think it'll be really interesting. But also the memes got to get way better. This is from Leo. If you are a follower of Eagles today, I just airdropped you 10,000 Bracky for being a believer in the Birds since during their Super Bowl run. About 75% of everything I won from playing bracket.game was airdropped. So were you in the Eagles channel, Adrienne?
No. I wasn't in the Eagles channel.
I am shocked.
I didn't even know it existed. Embarrassingly, I also had problems with my bracket frame.
Oh.
I was one of like the 0.0002% who had issues claiming the airdrop.
Oh.
And TLDR is a doll who was trying to help me do it. There was like some like edge case bug, and I was like, I don't really bet on things anyway, so don't bother with me.
One.
So I did not get my I didn't get my Braggy Eagles airdrop or whatever he's giving out.
I got some,
I'm gonna die poor.
But I did not have the Eagles in the end. I still got some, and I was like, oh, that's nice. So that was pretty cool. But the ones who had picked the Eagles they did very well in bracket. There was a lot of bonuses. So there you go. And this from TLDR. I'm just going to read it really quick. You guys can go take a look at this because we're running a little short on time. A Farcaster founding story. 13 months ago, January 12th, 2024, we recruited our first bracket testnet players for this new experimental sports game. We attracted casters by sponsoring $25 channels of NFL teams. These super fans collected other fans to their channels, the group of whom became critical mass for bracket games. So if you continue on, he just goes into like going from that to now having this token and just everything that's happening with frames. So just a really cool journey and love watching them build as well. This from Raya, I'm going to read this really quick too. Just joined Farcaster 3 days back and I'm already ranked 386 and got early access to Farcaster wallet and $10 reward. Here's how it happened. 1, I got hooked instantly on Warpcast when I watched Naomi's Afrochicks video and I knew I had to join ASAP. I love that. 2, I introduced myself, made sure people knew who I was and what I was about and why I was here. A good intro goes a long way. 3, engaged from day one, jumped into combos, replied to posts, and got a warm welcome from some amazing creators. Y'all are the best. Please follow them. Joined channels, contributed, found spaces that match my interest. 3, engaged. I focused on genuine interactions, commenting, connecting, and guess what? I've already made some amazing friends. All thanks to Naomi, I found this amazing purple app, and I just completed the first steps of her video. Amazing. What an amazing story. Like, unreal. So also, if you're not following Raina, I think it's Raina, go follow her. So RAYNAA, go give her a follow. But very cool. And Naomi, we are blessed to have you in our ecosystem. By the way, she's going to be at Eth Denver.
Yes.
So very exciting. And I'm looking forward to meeting you, Naomi. This from the Ethereum Foundation, a couple bits of news beyond Farcaster. EF Treasury has deployed 10,000 ETH into Spark, 10,000 ETH into Aave Prime, 20,800 ETH into Aave Core, 4,200 ETH into Compound. We're grateful for the entire Ethereum security community that has worked diligently to make Ethereum DeFi secure and usable. More to come, including exploring staking. If you have suggestions or ideas for future deployments, reply in the comments and let us know. So this has been part of their efforts to dive into various aspects of the ecosystems, including DeFi. So that was the good news. And then meanwhile, because people are crazy. So this is from Android 16. Crypto is a nightmare from an ethics standpoint. It's filled with scammers, grifters, liars, opportunists, crony capitalists, etc. It also doesn't shy away from racism, misogyny, homophobia, classism, etc. But Vitalik making a communist joke, that's where we draw the line. So in case you missed it, over on the Bird app, Vitalik made a joke in a thread and in a reply to something else that somebody said. He said, "Make communism great again." And "Milady" was the sign off. So, whatever. But also he's been pretty clear about like where his political stance is. And it's not, necessarily communism straight out, but he has his takes on like various things. But also, Ethereum's clearly pretty entrepreneurial and capitalistic. So, I mean, like, everybody just chill. So a bunch of folks went at him. It turned into a whole thing. And this turned around Android 16 from his narrative. Okay, I take it back. I'm very happy with being the peaceful, productive Ethereum cozy corner, which was a respond to his own thing saying that he wished they'd bring this shit show over here more often. So how do we bring that shit show here? And I remember saying back to him, leave it over there. It's fine. We can just talk about the shit show over here in a much more calm manner instead. And that's what's been happening. So there are people who are like, calling Vitalik out, but they're also like, okay, this is way overblown. So there's, good discussion happening over here. But yeah, craziness. Speaking of Ethereum, Eth Denver coming up. Couple fun things happening. So on Saturday, March 1st, 5 p.m., the Farcaster meetup, Eth Denver 2025. So make sure that you sign up for this if you're going to be there. And then also that morning, we have us having our event, our Eth Denver karaoke brunch. So if you are a GM Farcaster hypersub holder or a little Nouner, you should be able to reply to this frame and be added automatically. If not, you can jump onto the wait list, and I'm going through it and pulling at least the folks we know for now. And then if we have enough room, I'll pull some other folks. But also if you have your +1 or anything like that, just let me know who they are and I'll make sure they get off the wait list. And one more thing, and then we are going to go to our special guest. This from Emma, reminder that applications close February 21st. If you want to come to FarCon, make sure that you fill out your application. You have one more week. And then also, if you have already been approved, you can jump into the group chats for the FarCon Summit or Builders Day. So get in there. They are a lot of fun. All right. Did I miss anything? Did I catch it at all? I don't know. There was also something weird happened yesterday with Near Protocol and somebody streaming porn. I don't know. I didn't catch the whole thing, but something. There was a couple of memes and I'm like, I don't have time to fully understand this right now, so I didn't pull it.
No, but I saw what it was about and I was opting out too. I said, I don't need to know.
I can't. I don't have time today.
Yeah, no. I don't know what happened with Near.
I don't either. But more importantly, we do have Debbie here, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, let's get Debbie on. And by the way, Dan Romero was engagement farming last night, so if you haven't,
I saw that. I did see that. So go add a reply, and you can get some likes.
No,
get some likes, and you get some money. Yeah,
I need my 68.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Debbie.
How's it going?
It's going great. I've been reading. I'm very excited. I love the book. It's so good. We're going to chat about that. But I want to start first of all, hi. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited we get to meet. Thank you for playing Cast Out with the Burberry team.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
And you guys had like your own like super secret Discord where you guys were strategizing.
Yeah,
So
well, I was also traveling at a time, so I was like, oh my God. Like, but my favorite had to be like the basketball game. I was like, I'm spending
went hard.
too much time on this.
You went hard on that basketball game. It was so funny.
Oh, and the yoinking. Oh my gosh, I had like 10-minute laugh throughout like the entire evening.
Oh, it was JGN. He was like a general. Like, didn't he set you guys all up with like reminders and like it was so funny. There was Burr Friends had a great team. Like they were on it. Like
it was a good run.
They had to get rid of you because you guys would have definitely won. So I understand. I understand why they got rid of you. But it was so fun to see you playing. I want to ask you about how you got into Web3. Like, I want to start there. And I want to talk to you about the hug and how that came about, because that's amazing. Yeah. So give us a little bit of background for those who may not be familiar, may not know you.
I'll try and give like an abridged version. But I'm Singapore born and raised, for those who don't know. I feel like I talk about it a lot. I moved to the US like 4 years ago. Like before that, I mean, I basically lived and worked in Singapore my whole life. Like had spent 7 years in finance, had a little side hustle that was like an indoor cycling studio, which was really fun. Wow. It was like Singapore's first kind of soul cycle concept. Left the world of finance to basically join the world of live sports. So I worked for an MMA promotion. So I was around a cage, blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And did a lot of cool things there. And then the pandemic happened, which, makes for not a very fun time in the live sports industry. And so at that time, like I thought it would be a fantastic idea to just quit my job, pack 2 suitcases, bring my dog, move halfway across the world. So landed in the US in 2021. And basically realized that it was still in the middle of the pandemic and there wasn't really any way to meet anyone. And so I guess that's kind of when I started really just spending way too much time on the internet, like diving into internet communities. I guess I had already been personally invested in crypto just a little bit since 2019, but like, to be honest, I had like no idea what I was doing. I was like, whatever. I didn't also the coin that I bought was like XRP, which like then had like a—
You're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Like I literally round tripped that. And then now I'm like, holy shit, that's finally come back. But the first coin that I bought in 2019 was XRP, so it's actually
hilarious. So funny. There's like everyone has these little pockets of like when people came in. You've got the very early Bitcoiners who were mining and they were like high school, and then you've got the ones who came in when Ethereum launched and like crypto kitties. That was me. And then you've got the XRP people who came in that way. Like it's funny because there's definitely like a little bit of a fraternity or something around these little cohorts.
Yeah, and it feels so random too, because I think it's like it's a minority, right? A minority of people who like tweet like, why did I buy XRP and not Bitcoin? I don't even know. But anyway.
Why did I buy crypto kitties and not punks? Nobody knows.
But anyway, I guess it wasn't until like 2021 when I had like moved and I was like, well, I just like really nothing else to do. So and I guess that's when I just started, falling down a rabbit hole. It was like kind of like an NFT boom. And I think I got that. And like, it came to me a lot more intuitively because I'm like, it's just like buying things on the internet, And then I met my co-founder, Randy Zuckerberg, basically in a Discord server. So we met as strangers in an internet chat room. And then we jumped on a Zoom call and she was like, do you want to become my co-founder and build this thing? And so that's kind of how Hug came about, with the mission of empowering all creators to become entrepreneurs, by giving them the technology, whether it's blockchain, AI, or tools, resources, education. And so, really kind of went from an idea on a piece of paper to like over 35,000 members. Wow. And we had like 500,000 monthly page views. We've given out like $350,000 of grants and scholarships, and we've matched artists with really great brands and opportunities, put their work in the middle of Shibuya Crossing, to the United Nations General Assembly. Actually, that was really cool. Flown out artists to speak at a L'Oreal event. So it's just been really, really great and amazing seeing these artists' careers kind of thrive and seeing them really believe in themselves, like both through the power of blockchain and outside of it. And then I guess we met the .art team. So for those of you who don't know, .art is and actually there's a domains channel in Farcaster, which I think is really interesting. But .art is basically the TLD domain name operator for .art. They are the largest domain operator for the arts and creative industry. We started partnering with them about a year ago, got to know the team really well. And I guess along the way, discovered that there were a lot of great synergies in all of the things that we were building. Like we had these great artist profile pages. They kind of had that too. They were building in kind of blockchain verification for, authenticating artists' work. And it just made a lot of sense, to kind of join forces. And they have such a huge network. I think they have like over 400,000 domains that are registered. They have all of the connections to the museums and the galleries, and like even like brands like Porsche. There's like Porsche.art, like for these big consumer brands that have like these side little like creative projects. And so, got acquired by .art at the end of last year, and excited to kind of see what they do with it and continue building on top of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What does the Hug have going on like for the rest of this year? I know in the past there's been like events and things happening in New York City or anything like that, or anything that we should know for artists to pass along to them, or
so now it's like fully under it's being fully managed by the .art team. I actually just kind of wrapped up the full transition, so a little bit of sweet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But no, they've been continuing to do a lot of great things. I think they're continuing to do a whole bunch of open calls. So like if anyone is ever looking for artists for like an event or like for a gallery, an exhibition, like definitely kind of use the open call platform that we've built. Like it's great, and it's been an awesome way just to kind of connect like creators with all sorts of opportunities that are out there. And they're like grants as well, like being given out every single month.
I didn't know it had fully slid under there, so that's great. Yeah. Fantastic. Wow, what a great acquisition there for them. That's fantastic. I loved reading. I haven't gotten very far in the book, but I loved reading about Randy and like her journey into Web3, and your connection with her was really interesting. I totally missed the part where she launched Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? I didn't realize that. So that was like, reading that was really interesting, but also just, I remember her from, a couple of years ago, and like really out there when I think it was right around COVID or right after, and like doing the music video and all that.
Yeah.
And it was, it's funny because it became a part of like one of John Oliver's shows once. And I was like, okay, but it was funny. And I just love that she leaned in so much. And so it was fun to see that all kind of coming down. So what a great experience you two have had and created. Incredible. So how did the book come along? Did it just come out of like everything you were doing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the book came along because I guess when I first started falling down the rabbit hole, like, and again, I didn't really know anyone. So I like created like an X account, Twitter account, whatever. I just started writing stuff there. And I guess like, and I mean, I'm terrible about it now, but at the time, like I used to be like writing these long Twitter threads, like, almost every week. And some of them like gained a whole bunch of traction and everything was awesome. And then I got approached, I guess, at the end of 2022, like, hey, by Wiley, by one of the editors at Wiley, to be like, hey, I've noticed you've been writing all of this stuff. Like, have you ever considered writing a book? And I was just like, no, like literally never even thought that I would.
That's wild. I love it.
Wow. Never even imagined it. Like, and then, I mean, I was intrigued, obviously, but it was a lot going on at Hug. I was actually in the middle of trying to raise our seed round for Hug. And it was OZA at the time, and we were actually really close to like raising around and closing around, and then FTX happened. And so
that'll do it.
Yeah, a lot of things kind of blew up in our face, like at the time, like so close to getting like a term sheet and a lead investor and everything. So anyway, stressful time. Long story short, just wasn't the best time to start writing a book, but in the end, managed to get it done. And we had like some great investors come in for that seed round, including like OKX, L'Oreal. And I guess after the round was closed, I must have been crazy because obviously there was still a lot of, the real work starts after you've closed the round and raised the money, right? But I guess I was kind of crazy. So I reached back out to the editor because it was just weighing on the back of my mind.
It's like, oh, now I have time.
Yeah, well, I was a little bit like, I'm not the kind of person to say no to an opportunity. So I felt, okay, somebody just offered me this opportunity. It feels like I'll be remiss to not like consider the opportunity. So I kind of reached back out probably like 6 months after she had originally kind of reached out to me. And was just, hey, like, is this thing still on the table? And she was like, yeah, like put together like a proposal, and I'll share it internally, and we'll see if you guys if you're good to go. And so yeah, I did that, and then she said, okay, great, you're good to go. Like the book is due in 6 months, and I was just like, wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like 50. It had to be like a minimum of like 50,000 something. I was like 50,000 words in 6 months. Anyway. Like I then heard from a lot of other people who had written books before that like no one ever meets the deadline. So I would say start to finish. It probably took me like, I think like a year-ish or so to write the book. And I would say even within that year, there was probably a good solid 3 to 4 months where I didn't write anything at all. But yeah, like I guess it was like a year, and then it goes through its own kind of like editing process and like obviously the printing, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to see it out in a while and to have like people have their hands on it. It's such a surreal experience.
It's amazing. Yeah. And yeah, you can finally see it in like people's hands. That is very cool. I love the way you're kind of doing, like you're giving this sort of education, but then adding in these stories to kind of bring it all together. And I think that's when I think about like, I'm going to remove Adrienne for a moment. We'll bring you back up when you get your camera back. She's having some camera issues, folks. So if you're wondering why she disappeared. So when I'm thinking about books for like my students and things like that, it needs to be interesting. They will not read. Like they just don't read, period. Like they don't. So if I can, it has to be like that kind of, and also having it be sort of, you can kind of chunk into it. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, I've got to read the whole book.
It's like an anthology, you can like jump in. Yeah.
It's great. So I love the way you laid that out. And you have like, you've covered a whole bunch of different, oh, she's back. Yeah, we can bring her back. Maybe she's back.
Am I back? I don't know.
Yeah. Are you back?
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind. Tell me when you're back. Just another day here. Who was you had a bunch of different people that you talked to for this book who you're calling the Mavericks, your Digital Mavericks. Who did you? Hi, she's back. She's back.
I'm sorry. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Nothing works.
Who like were some of the ones that really jumped out at you or said something that was surprising or really interesting that you didn't know before? That kind of gave you a surprise.
It's hard. It's so funny. Well, so last night I kind of had my I guess it's kind of, I felt like it was a little of my hot launch, but I hosted like a dinner party for like 20 people. It's kind of like a Chinese New Year / like book launch party thing. So it's really nice to kind of bring people together. But like somebody asked me that question too. Like last night I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's so hard to like pick one because like everyone has such different and unique stories. I think last night.
Well, that's why I didn't say your favorite.
I know.
I didn't want to say your favorite. I didn't want to.
Which was like unexpected. Oh my gosh, like, oh, so hard. Like, okay, last night I talked about Food Masku, like, he's an artist who makes like masks out of his food. He makes masks out of food. And he's like a gun shooting survivor. So he's got an incredible story that I think it was that experience that really he used to do a lot of really kind of like, I guess, intense, I don't know, like complex, like multimedia type creations, lots of animations and everything. And that experience was just, really sad, like kind of got him back into creating work that was more analog in nature. And so like that's kind of, and then, COVID happened, and then now he's like, his whole brand is like food masks, and like people will like, obviously that stuff started going viral on Instagram, and like people were like reposting his work without consent and obviously getting a whole bunch of views. Like people created TikTok accounts with like his videos, and he didn't even have a TikTok account at the time. And how he got into NFTs was really because he just Googled, like, how do I own a digital video? How do I own like this thing? And that's kind of how he got into it. And I mean, Claire Silver, who's like this incredible like AI collaborative artist. I mean, she's got like just the most incredible story, and she's just like such a way with words. If you've ever heard her speak, like it's just even everything sounds so poetic, like even in the interview. So it was honestly, I feel like maybe hers might be the longest story in the book, just because there was like so much to cover. There was like so much to get through. But yeah, and then you have others too, where it's like so funny, like Micah Johnson, you know, who's like a baseball player who's now an artist. And it's like pretty funny because I'm like, well, what got you into baseball? And he's just like, I've always wanted to do baseball since I was like 5 years old. And I'm like, any reason why? He's like, no. Like, that's like so straightforward. Like I just have like a little bit of like a meandering, like, oh, you know, I didn't really know what I was gonna do. And then this thing kind of presented itself. Like his was so funny. I feel like the first, I don't know, that's 20 to 25 years of his life, it was just baseball. Yeah. But I think the really great story from that was that he was like, you know, people in crypto or people in like the space, they always tend to be really impatient. Like they, you know, expect things to happen for them like really quickly, you know, I don't know, make money overnight quickly, become like well-known quickly. He's like, I knew that from age 5, for me to become a pro baseball player, like I have to like that, like there's no other way. Like, and I think anybody that knows a pro athlete or knows the journey of a pro athlete, you know that this is a dream that you're going to be working on for the next like 20 years of your life from a very, very young age. And so like, I thought that was really kind of, you know, inspirational, that I think, and a good reminder to all of us that, you know, sometimes you just want things to happen, and especially in a space that moves so quickly. But yeah, like he was just, I'm doing this, and you know, he made it, right? Like, so it's incredible.
Yeah, I love that. We have a question from Tutorizer. Would you say the book is capturing a zeitgeist, or will it be a classic applicable to on-chain art in the unknown future too? What do you think?
I wrote,
is it like more of the moment, or is it green?
Well, I wrote like in the intro, I think it's probably in the intro. I said like this probably is going to be a time capsule just because this space moves so quickly. Like, and actually that was also the hardest thing I would say about like writing the book, in that I have the last 3 chapters. So it's divided into 3 parts. So like the part 1 is kind of like the history of the internet. Part 2 is like my how-to guide on like step-by-step how to navigate the space. And even within one of those, like the how do you get started, I feel like some of the things around wallets and things, like now with embedded wallets, you know, like, you know, we don't really need seed phrases anymore if you don't really want to. So even that, I feel like, you know, it still applies, but you know, probably not going to be super relevant.
Move quickly. It's, I think that's probably one of the hardest things, I'm sure, about writing a book that relates to crypto, is that it can be out of date like that. So,
and then the last bit was like future looking, and I talk about AI. I think some of that stuff hasn't happened yet. Like I think the intersection of like, I mean, we're starting to see it happen, but the intersection of AI and crypto, but less in the agent side of things. I think more in terms of like being able to track what kind of data is being used in terms of generating these large language models. So I talk about that, and I have a whole bit on regulation, and obviously that's very different. I think at the
very up in the air.
That I happened, there was like the Bitcoin ETF being approved, which now feels like eons ago. But you know, at the time when I was writing, I was like, great, I could actually like slip this in. But yeah, like I think that's why I wanted to capture the stories as well, because I feel like the stories themselves are evergreen, right? Everyone's like origin stories about how they got into the space and what inspired them to come into space. Like that's always going to be there. Like the trends and what the latest metas are, like, you know, that's always going to come and go. So, so yeah, I don't know, a little bit of both, I guess.
Love that. So going back to art.art, are there any collab or overlap with possibilities for Yellow Collective? So Yellow Collective on Farcaster focuses on on-chain art. And I guess maybe the better question is, how can a community collaborate with .art? And if you know, like the best path for that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to collaborate with me on the book, since my book is yellow, like
that's true. Maybe is that what you meant? Maybe that's.
I don't know, but I'm open to all and any kinds of collaborations. I'm also actually thinking I just need to find a time to do it and also decide what I want. But I'm like I had so much fun like covering the stories that it is definitely on my list to kind of expand the number of stories that I'm writing. It doesn't have to be in a book. It could be I don't know, on a paragraph or what have you. Like I have
that.
one queued up already that I need to start writing, and I'm hoping to launch it by like Eth Denver. And I've thought of like even expanding the brand. Like obviously these are Digital Mavericks that are focused on crypto, but it could be focused on like AI. It could be focused on like all sorts of other things. So just trying to figure out how to like grow that. And then like the .at team has been amazing. Like they published like an interview, a written interview that they did with me, and like kind of send it out to everyone. And have been like encouraging people to kind of like get into it. Especially artists who, they definitely have a bit more of a mix of like a traditional artists as well as like digital artists. So I think they've been like, really encouraging people to lean into this, on-chain art. And what's also been great is that my mom, who's 73 years old, started reading it, and she told me that it's really readable. And my friends have been sending me photos of them reading the books with their kids. So I'm like, okay, this is exactly like what I wanted. When
you just gave me an idea. I'm like, maybe I should give this to my mom. It's actually a really good idea because I think she would enjoy it. She's actually a big reader. You know what? That's interesting. It may be that we're targeting the wrong generation. We should be going up and not down.
I write for really old people and really young people.
And the book talk, now there's book talk on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's really, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't even thought about that, but I think my mom just fairly recently has started texting me like that she's paying attention to the markets, and she'll be like, okay, now I'm up a little bit today, but you're down. So that's me being Ethereum, her being Bitcoin, because that's all she has.
I love that.
She just has a little bit of Bitcoin, and that's it. So it's like really funny, but I would love to, that might be helpful for her to get a little bit more understanding. Good idea. And also Tutorizer, it's on chain, lose the hyphen. It's cleaner. There's no hyphen. I almost didn't put your question up because of that particular thing. Yeah. The outcasts. Yeah, Outcasts collection kind of just got a little, went through phases. We went through a phase, but yeah, I don't know if you were around for that, but you may see even today some PFPs that look like this. So we started the show like that, and it's with the book up. So I think that we need some shots like that now around Farcaster. Everybody go grab your Digital Mavericks and give us a...
I've got the Farcaster logo on the inside flap too.
I saw that. Oh, I forgot to show that. I was like, that was awesome. Yeah, it's right
that's
there.
So cool.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that is so cool to see. And I love how
everything's next to
cool art.
I Farcaster mentioned in one of the chapters too. I can't remember which chapter it is. Like chapter, I don't know. Yeah. And base, and then I've lens as well.
And then this we don't
talk about lens.
I'm just kidding.
Don't talk about the other decentralized
Kidding. I'm kidding. We want everybody to win. So that's as soon as I opened the book, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. There's Farcaster Archer there. I love that. You might be the first one. I think you might be.
Yeah,
at least have the logo in there.
Page that mentions it. I gotta find it.
I think Chris Dixon mentioned Farcaster in Read Write Own, but I don't think the logo's in there. So you might be the first book with a Farcaster arch in it. I think so. Anybody correct me if you want, but I think you're the first one, which is pretty funny considering Dan, the English major, probably should have been the first. But she beat you to it, Dan. She beat you to it. By the way, I almost had that as my background, Adrienne. That looks so cute. And I really love the pixel art that you took all that. I love that it's all
by an incredible. I have to give a shout out because it's by an incredible Hug artist called Jam. So he did all of the pixel art characters. I got to know him from the Hug community. He's like super talented. So he did all of that. I'm actually in the middle of building I'm also using AI. I'm vibe coding. There's something that I learned today.
Are you vibe coding?
I'm vibe coding my on-chain personality quiz, where at the end of it, you get you get to see which of these 13 people you are most like, and then you get to mint the NFT based on your result. And the artwork is really cute. It's like a little comic. It's like on the second page, I think, of the book. Like you can see there's like these little comics that I've been meaning to put on chain. They've just been, the vibe coding is tough. Let's just put it that way.
I love that. I love that. And I also love that you're so active on Farcaster too. What brought you over? Like, what got you to start actually hanging out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the early ones. I think if you look at like my in terms of getting an account, I think I'm like pretty early. And then yeah, definitely was kind of like inactive for a while. I think a lot of it honestly was like really kind of what related and stuff is like tough to split your time across like so many different platforms. I don't know. I think I started getting back into it like sometime last year, probably around like the whole Degen like things taking off and
I had to look, right?
Yeah,
I had
right?
to look. 1628.
1628 is pretty good, right?
She's earlier than us. I had to look.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I started really getting more active like probably last year. And then now, honestly, I just really enjoy being there because it kind of reminds me of how I used Twitter in the beginning, where like I don't know, so my Twitter account is this thing where like it started with me like not really caring, and then I started getting a lot of followers, and then I started writing all these things, and I felt like every time I wrote something, I had to sound intelligent, and I was like, well, sometimes I really don't have anything intelligent to say, or I don't really have any kind of commentary. And then so when you're building a business, like, and also when your name is kind of associated with a Zuckerberg, like I also had to be like very careful about like the things that I write. Like I didn't want to be like overly spicy just in case it got like misquoted in some ways. And like, it's just one of the,
there was
like,
a lot of attention on you guys early on, especially. Yeah.
And so like, I just didn't want to draw unnecessary, like even if I write something about like mental health and then it'd be like, oh my gosh, like Brandy, your co-founder is unhinged. Like, like and so it just felt like I had to, like Twitter had got to a point where I had to almost like filter myself and just be really conscious about the way that I came across. And then it's also got like all kinds of crazy the algorithm, like, over the past year or so. And then I don't know, like Farcaster just feels for me now, like it's almost like a micro blogging thing for me. Like I actually post like not even that much about like things that I'm doing on chain. I mean, I do occasionally, but like I really love it for like fitness and sports.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what I see you on there. I didn't even connect you. I didn't even connect the dots, honestly. Like you were just Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie, she does, she's lifting. Like,
yeah, I'm always lifting. I'm always
like she's awesome lifter.
I'm always in a bracket group chat.
Like that's kind of what, like, I didn't even connect the dots that you were like that, you had found Hug, and then when the book was coming out, I'm like, oh, and then I started connecting all the dots. I was like, oh wow.
About food.
So that's cool.
So yeah, I don't know, it's just like been a place that, because I have my own like personal Instagram too, and like I use like a different handle, and then again that's also like another bit which is like even more like personal because I like photos and videos and stories and everything. But yeah, it's just nice to have a place where like I can feel like I'm myself again, but at the same time still be really kept connected to all of the cool things that are happening like in the Farcaster ecosystem, obviously.
Farcaster, where you can be yourself and say all your dumb things. I don't know. Well, there's something in there. There's some branding in there where you don't have to filter. Something like that.
Exactly.
No filter necessary.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Adrienne, do you have some lightning round questions for Debbie?
Always. Yeah, Debbie, you up for some lightning round questions?
Yeah, right. Let's do it. It makes me nervous, but yeah, let's go.
We're pretty hard hitting around here.
Yeah, we're very hard hitting journalists. Yeah. Mike Wallace got nothing on us.
All right. So the only thing I want to prep you for is you are not allowed to overthink any of these.
Okay, got it.
So whatever comes to mind. So the first one I start with is the same question we ask everybody, and it's because on Farcaster, we talk a lot about the URL to IRL pipeline. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious when and how you made your first internet friend.
Well, I made my first internet friend. Oh my God. Wait, like as in related to Web3 or like doesn't matter?
Nope.
When did just someone you met on the internet first?
You know what I love? I found in my my old house, I was just back in Singapore. I had a pen pal that at 12 that I met on the internet, and we wrote about Pokemon. So I had a pen pal, a girl who was in the UK, and she drew like a little like sloth and like on my little envelope. So that was my first internet friend. I don't even know how I met her, but we met over Pokemon. Yeah.
So you met on the the but then when you were pen paling, it was writing letters and sending in the mail?
Yes.
Naomi would love that. She very
would. I have a photo of it somewhere. I'll find it. But yeah, it's actually really cute. I was like, oh.
Okay. That's
I love
awesome. What's your favorite channel on Farcaster?
Favorite channel on Farcaster, fitness.
I was like, if she doesn't say fitness, I mean, I was gonna say fitness or
Favorite-
books. I don't know.
Yeah.
Founders.
Favorite
I see it in
holiday.
Founders sometimes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday, Christmas?
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Beach or mountain?
Oof, tough. Beach?
Next country you want to visit?
Go back to Japan, even though I've been there like a bajillion times, but I miss it.
If you could bring one person, living or dead, to Farcaster, who would it be?
Obama?
Ooh. Obama would be
Completionist.
great on Farcaster.
He is way too he is way too filtered.
He would need
But
hold
I
on.
like
Hold
his-
on.
we need-
Anonymous account. Anonymous
We need
account.
we need pseudo anon
Yeah.
Obama.
Yeah, well, I like his,
on-
you know how he does these like annual book recommendations and like movie
Yes.
recommendations. I want those. Yes,
Yeah.
I want
He
those.
would be. There's certain things I'm like, oh, I could see that. Like he
We-
would actually
yeah.
be interesting. And
I want group chat
I think
Obama.
I think he'd love like super anon. I really do.
That's right.
All right, someone work on that. Completionist, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, just that answer alone, I
Yeah.
think you answered it.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Completionists never hesitate on that question.
I finished a book.
But some
took a
people
while, but-
struggle.
Finish the
Yeah.
book.
There are some people who struggle though, who like are. It's like you get overwhelmed, so you don't want to be a completionist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I don't want to
Con-
commit.
that's funny. That's funny.
concert or sporting event?
Sporting event.
Okay, Debbie, I have like the same list of questions that I pick from. One of them, I'm gonna read it, but you are not allowed to answer it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna read it just because it's. If you were to write a book, what would it be about? Like you're
Yeah,
the
you
only
can't answer
one
that.
who actually
All
doesn't
right,
have
well,
to
you're
answer
going to
this.
write another book.
What's your next book about? No, let her just enjoy this. Like
Yeah, I know. Enjoy
just
the
launching.
moment.
No more thinking about writing another one.
Well, you know what I have done, which I've only written one though. I wrote and I actually published on Paragraph like a couple of weeks ago. I wrote like a personal essay, and it's about grief. So it's very different from like anything that's in this book. I wrote about my dog. My dog is 13. She hasn't died yet. She's still here. But I wrote about the anticipation of grief, and it's a very, very different style of writing. And I kind of want to do more of that. I started writing. I started writing, and I posted it in first draft. My next piece, kind of about the founding journey. And then I stopped because then I was in Singapore. Then I kind of lost the momentum a little bit. But kind of want to create like more personal essays. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a book, but yeah, it's more feely, touchy feely, I guess.
That's great.
Yeah.
By the way, Prof, I hate this answer because usually we'll ask this and you're like, this person's not going to write the book. So it makes me feel better about myself because I know I'm never going to write a book. No, I can't do it.
She's already did it. She's going to do it. She's probably doing it.
She's going to write this book.
She's going to write that book.
And I will feel worse about myself. Okay, Debbie, what is your biggest fear right now?
My biggest fear. Holy crap. I guess, I'm in this transition of like, looking for my next opportunity. So I think my biggest fear is like not finding one, which I know it seems like irrational, but like,
really? No,
I just,
yeah.
I feel like I'm in this weird, like I said, it's always, which is why I was like kind of starting to write about like, people talk a lot about the ups and downs of becoming a founder. And like, no one ever actually talks about like what happens when that journey kind of ends. And there's definitely like this, like it's so much a part of your life every single day, and then all of a sudden it's not, and it's almost hard to. And I've been in some conversations and everything, but like everything feels, it's hard to figure out what is the right next step. So yeah, I think my fear is like not knowing what the next step is or making the wrong one, I guess. But yeah.
Very relatable.
Yeah,
And-
totally.
Camping or hotel?
Hotel.
We go from very deep to
to like I'm a bougie bitch.
Okay.
Put me in the Ritz-Carlton.
Optimist or pessimist?
Optimist for sure.
Football or soccer?
Football.
Kiwi skin or on or off?
Oh, off. Well, I eat it like a cup. Like, I slice it in half and I scoop it out. So is that on or off? Off.
That would be. Oh, good point. Yeah, but you're not biting into it.
I'm
so
not
that's
eating the skin. Yeah.
By the way, that's how I eat them too.
Yeah.
That's the cup. Okay. Last one. What is the last thing you bought with crypto?
Last thing I bought with crypto. I don't know. Could it be a rodeo post? Probably a rodeo post. Probably a whole bunch of like rodeo posts.
Probably a whole bunch of rodeo posts.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go down a hole there.
Yeah.
Are there any artists right now that you're really vibing with that you want to mention or?
I mean, gosh, so many. I know so many.
I
had like
said that.
Actually, at my dinner last night, Jennifer Pepin, she runs this DAO called One Love Art DAO. And she does these great things in Miami every single month, or where they have like an exhibition, the Gates Hotel, which is in South Beach. And so actually tonight they're putting on like a Valentine's Day exhibition, where, the subject matter is love, but not necessarily romantic love. And so they're having like a little shindig tonight, which I'm excited to go check out.
Cool.
That exhibition. And there are a whole bunch of great artists. They did like a really great exhibition for Martin Luther King Day as well. So yeah, I would definitely check out like One Love Art DAO. They've got like some really, really great artists there.
Awesome. Yeah, good point. Last chance to say hello in the chat. Make sure you tell us if we don't know who you are. If we don't know who you are on Farcaster, we need to know who you are on Farcaster.
We are okay. So it's an autographed copy of Digital Mavericks.
Well, optional. You don't have to. I don't have to autograph it, but I can autograph. I'm happy to autograph it.
I got the names of everybody who said hello in the chat, both on YouTube, mostly YouTube, but also Twitter chat comments.
Okay. Cool.
I do not know everybody's Farcaster names.
So if your name is not the same, make sure you drop your name in the chat so we can get you in there.
Do we want to do this?
Some of them I know. Some of them I know too. So
yeah. So
amazing.
No, you don't actually have to say just hello. Everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Just as long as you said something in the chat, I grabbed you. You want to do it now, or I can do it after?
We'll do it after, just to make sure we've got everybody.
Okay.
But this has been so amazing. Everybody go check out Digital Mavericks. It's so good. That's what I'm doing for the rest of the weekend. I'm getting through it because I want to get it all. It's so good. By the way, I did like the idea of Farak as President Obama's Farcaster name.
The bar arch.
Barch. Or I like Farak. There we go. So there we go. We need that. We need that to happen. I loved all the answers to the lightning round. They're so fun. And also, you were probably around. A lot of folks who come on here, they weren't around for like the Kiwi debate and all this, because looking at your FID is insane. So you've seen it all. You've been around for all the things.
I've been around the block a little bit.
Around the block. Amazing. Adrienne, anything else that I forgot? Oh, I know. Hey, today at noon, we're going to be playing poker right here on the stream. So if you are a Lil Nouner or we have some folks playing from Burr Friends, you're able to play on some of these games. So just hit me up if you're interested in playing and in the future. But we're going to be playing today at noon, and it'll be a lot of fun right here. So do you play poker, Debbie? Because you're on the Burr Friends.
I played. I guess I don't really play online poker, but I played back home in Singapore. And Tracy, like it's tradition that you get this money in your red packets, and then you basically try and lose it right away, like when you gamble with friends. So yeah, I lost low stakes poker, lost $50 playing poker. So
fun.
Yeah, I did play. Yeah.
Oh, I loved your post from Lunar New Year. That was so cool. Yeah, we showed that on that day. I remember that was really cool.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun being back. It's my first time back in 5 years for Chinese New Year, so that was really, really fun.
I have one last question. What did you think of Dan's comment that Farcaster is the Singapore of crypto? What did you think about that?
Farcaster is the Singapore of crypto. Oh gosh, I missed that.
Oh, you missed it? Okay, we'll let you think. Like I thought it was really. He was
no other context. No other context?
Well, it was in regards to the wallet. Do you want to, how would you get the context, Adrienne?
So yeah, no, the context is small population, high GDP.
Mm.
So it's like a digital space, so it's not a ton of people, but yeah, he was doing some analysis on kind of dry powder, like how much value is in all of like the kind of the Farcaster connected wallets.
The Farcaster
And
economy.
the number is high, except it's just not that many people. So it's kind of like, so then he called it the Singapore of crypto.
I like it, and actually my intro references Singapore. The very beginning of my book references Singapore, and I think another reason why I'll add to that is that because like the Singapore that everybody knows today, by the way, is like very different from the Singapore that I knew growing up. And I feel that Singapore is the ultimate underdog story. And it's why I resonate with it so much. Like I look back on it. When I was younger, I was like so embarrassed to be from Singapore. Because if I met anybody and I'm like, oh, I'm from Singapore, they're like, where the hell is that? Like, is it part of China? And like just felt like so small and like slighted. And then now like I'm really proud to be from Singapore. And so I feel like it's, and Singapore, like no natural resources, small population, like everybody was writing it off. And so, I think like not that Farcaster is like that people are writing it off to say, but maybe in the grand scheme of things they are like the big internet giants are writing it off. But yeah, like I think it's small and mighty, and like don't underestimate what can happen when you have a great group of people at the helm. And some decisions that are made may not always be popular. I think that's always the controversial bit about Singapore's history, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do and you're going to come up right on top. So yeah, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
That's an even better analogy than I anticipated. That was great. That's fantastic.
I've never been to Singapore. It's definitely on my list of
it's beautiful
countries
and a lot of fun.
Did anyone also go to school in the 80s or so or earlier? Does anyone remember the Scholastic News, like newspaper style magazine things you would get in elementary school? No.
Yes, I do. I kind of do. Yes, I do remember those. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And David, are you saying you also, sadly, yes, you remember?
Yes,
so we would get, So there'd be like these, like a 3-page newspaper printout. It was like, 2 to 4 pages paper. And it would just kind of be like, it was like a newspaper kind of written for elementary kids. Anyway, this is my introduction to Singapore because I was probably like, I don't know, first grade maybe. And I remember reading about Singapore, and what I read was, if you spit gum out on the sidewalk, you go to jail. I think there might have been a story where like they like jailed some American for littering.
There was a kid that got like caned because there's an American kid that got caned for vandalizing. So that was like a pretty big story back in the 90s.
That was it. So I was in elementary school, I think, at that time. And like, so all the propaganda machine went right to work. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to Singapore. That's so scary.
It's so funny. You're right. It's exactly the way, there was definitely a strange approach to like what we thought Singapore was. And I think there's been a huge PR, like it's just turned around and it seems amazing. Like
and we had no internet.
It's still true. There's no
internet
free speech. No free speech. So be careful what you say over there.
Yeah, was DevCon in Singapore? No, or Thailand?
Yeah.
What was
Thailand? But Token 2049 is in Singapore.
That's what it was. I knew one of them was
or there. Was it the Network State Conference? I don't know. A bunch of Farcaster people were all in Singapore recently, I think, and talking about their experience on train, like how clean it is, and they're like, I couldn't bring a coffee cup. Someone was writing about their story of like having a coffee cup with them in their backpack, and they had to hide it on the train.
That's funny.
But it's
probably to keep it clean. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Freedom comes with a price, and that price is sticky subway floors. Amazing. And I did just put a note in here as well that if some of our anonymous people want to dox, we'd be happy to add you into the giveaway. Yes, I'm trying to figure out who you are. It's like, ooh, this might be a good opportunity to figure out who this person is.
Or if Farcock wants to pick someone else in the chat to give it to. And we'll keep your name in the spinner.
But I swear if I don't win. Funny.
I have a Thomas Collins from Twitter.
Are you
I don't know who
actually
that
Anon? You're actually at Anon? Okay, interesting. Interesting things learned during the chat in the chat today. All right, we're going to wrap it here. This has been amazing, Debbie. This is going to be out on all of our podcasts. So if you came in late and you missed a little bit with Debbie, it'll be everywhere. The recording will be everywhere. It's available on Twitter now, and it'll be on all our places in just a little bit today. Come back for poker at noon. It's going to be fun. And happy Friday.
Yeah. Also, you guys are going to be in Denver, I guess?
Yes. I was just going to ask you that. Are you going to be in Denver?
I am going to be in Denver.
Yay.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
Excited.
All right. We have our event on Saturday. So there's two events. There's two Farcaster events on Saturday. So make sure you catch that. And also I started, where did I do it here? I started a thread of all the Eth Denver events that Farcaster folks are either sponsoring or going to be at or want to promote. So go check that out so you don't miss anything. That's to anybody who's going to be in Denver. And please come hang with us because we're going to have lots of fun. So we're doing our GM Farcaster brunch. We'd love you there. There's karaoke. You don't have to.
Love karaoke. Oh, I love karaoke. I'm a karaoke queen.
Got one. So. Okay, we're gonna have some. We'll have some giveaways for folks who sing because we do that sort of thing. All right, everybody, that is it. This has been amazing. It's been so great chatting with you. So glad we got to finally meet on camera.
I know.
And I can't wait to see you at Eth Denver.
Likewise.
It's going to be so fun. All right, everybody. We will see you. I will see you. I'll see you at poker, and then I'll see you Monday. We're doing a special combo space. I almost forgot with Crypto Sapiens, and we're going to do an early morning show combo because Adrienne's going to be out of town. So Humpty's going to be my co-star, my guest host, and we will see you on Monday. And that's it, everybody. Bye-bye. Happy Valentine's Day.